as tributes continue to pour in, those sharing their memories and recollection of Deborah Fraser. We're joined now by artist Pastor Jabu Hlongwane. Jabu, good evening, and thank you very much for your time joining us tonight here on In Focus. It's almost unbelievable to be talking about Deborah in the past tense. It's not someone that you would imagine to be speaking about at this time as someone who has passed because of the vitality and the life that she possessed. What's your tribute this evening?
Thank you, man. Good evening, Tabo, and good evening to your viewers. It's just a few hours ago that I learned of this, coming back from church, and I saw in the news. This is unbelievable. I never thought, because the last time I saw him was on, I think it was on Facebook, but she was in a wheelchair and she was singing, and to me it was like, oh, she's in a wheelchair, or she's got this, she's got that. Now she has passed. It's a great loss to the music industry, particularly for Deborah being so unique. Her voice is unique. That tone, you never find that tone anywhere in the music industry. And I love how she would be so versatile, working with different artists, going into Batanga at some stage, collaborating with different types of artists. I worked with her way back in my second album when she was still working with Sipho Mbele. In the backing vocals, she was you can't touch her. Yeah. Now, the gospel music has lost quite an icon, and we want to say to the family, may the Lord bandage your hearts and comfort you. May her soul rest in peace.
You work with a lot of session artists, and you've already mentioned that her pedigree extends more than just the music that now we know. It starts way back with Chico. I remember we used to do sessions with her back in those days. Had established herself very strongly as a backing artist. But what does it take, Jabu, to make that transition and to be able to put your own stamp? We speak of Abanye Bayombona today as an iconic song. It's not something that is easy to do and to put that stamp of yours within the South African gospel music landscape in particular?
I think particularly for her, it's one thing to be a singer. She loved music. Her love for music went beyond just a song. So that is why she is able to go in different directions and actually fit in and work with different people because she loved the music. She was not limited to one type of music, even though she was a gospel singer. But she came from different types of, way back from Guamashu. In Guamashu, there was a lot of experimenting with different types of music from all the artists that came from that era and that space. And she paved the way through until she ended up as a gospel artist. But she started dabbling into other types of music because she had a love for music, which is what is admirable for me to her, so that it's not like about being famous or being this or being that, but loving and following where the music leads you. That's the big thing for me. Yeah.
Her drive and passion for the industry also led her to be quite courageous in terms of speaking out. And I'm sure even in your interactions, you know that she had a very bold voice when it comes to issues that she wanted to raise about the industry. And I suppose that is what also made her quite unique.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I want to think that when you get older in the industry or anywhere else, you get to find your voice. Because when you enter in the industry, you want not to step on toes, you want to be liked, you want to all kinds of things. She had reached the point where as an older person, she's able to say, this is what I've been through in the industry. These are the things that I did not like that happens to me. So she was bold in terms of speaking out about issues. I remember there's a song she did about stuff that was happening in churches. Something like Abafundi Saba Wrong or something like that. She did a song like that at some stage. Because she did not only limit herself to singing about verses. She went down to things that really affect people in communities. And that's admirable for me.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? When you talk about things that are affecting people in communities, it's this conversation that we need to have when it comes to faith-based artists and things that affect them in the natural, like illness, and how we respond to that and how we become advocates and ambassadors to things like diabetes and everything and all other ailments that possibly affect faith-based artists who many people look at them and they say, we expect you to have greater faith than us?
I think so, because there is in the space of faith, in the space of Christianity, in the space of religion, that's where compassion should live. So it's not enough for us to sing about Jeremiah and Isaiah. Jesus was passionate about how people were experiencing life. He was passionate about how people were hungry, or people were sick, or people were this or that. So it is important for us who are in this space who sing gospel music to go beyond just singing and have empathy that will go a long way in terms of actually touching people from where they are experiencing these things. So it's a challenge that we are facing, and I hope that we will rise to that occasion.
As far as her writing is concerned, I mean, and the space where writing is today in terms of the South African gospel music, do you think there is a gap that we are leaving behind with the type of writing of Deborah Fraser and what the young artists are writing today?
You're right, that's a difficult one. Writing is a difficult one. But what I liked about Deborah is that she did not, you see, when you can write a song, sometimes you get to be in a space where you don't want other people's songs.
Yeah.
Deborah opened herself up. She used to, at some stage, she used to work with Sipho Mpele for the longest time.
Yeah.
And then she opened up and worked with many people, including, there was a time she was collaborating with Babo in Durban. She was collaborating with different people. In terms of writing, it's a story for another day, because we need to have an indaba that says, where are we taking the music in terms of gospel music? Because the influence of the American worship writing type has infiltrated. But there are different streams of writing skills, and when you look at Durban, for instance, there's a Durban gospel music. Yeah. That is different from everybody. Yeah. There's a Pretoria type of music. Yeah. And all these influence the writing of those artists. But Deborah was versatile in terms of taking anybody's song and work with that and make it her own. That was for me, when I look at how she handled songs that were not written by her and made her mark in those songs and a footprint that would make it a Deborah song. For me, that was big.
Yeah. In your reflection, and when you think now in this space that next time there is a big gospel festival, there will be Jabu Hlongwane, there will be Tunzi Namba, there will be Dr. Rebecca Malope, there will be a Benjamin Dube, and there will be no Deborah Fraser. What would the audience be missing that many who might not know Deborah Fraser at this particular point are listening to this conversation?
I think we owe it, as you count the list, I'm thinking about my friend Hlongwane. I just did a performance in Nels Parades, and I was at backstage, and I was thinking, like you are saying, I'm thinking, if my friend Vuyo was here, what would we be doing? And then I go on stage and I started his song to celebrate him. Now, if we had a scenario like you are mapping out right now, we would need to incorporate Deborah's songs and celebrate her life. Because besides many things, she has, in the Zulu language, she has made her mark. That is why we are talking about her. And we need to celebrate her life while we are hurt that she has passed, and we wish her family comfort, and we are passing all condolences. We need to start celebrating her life and the lives of all those who made their mark in the industry.
Jabu Hlongwane, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. That is Pastor Jabu Hlongwane, gospel artist, songwriter, as well as founding member and leader of the gospel ensemble Joyous Celebration, sending his tributes to the Fraser family at the passing of this great giant. Let's continue.